like to show you something about the Trompowsky attack, but before I begin, I really want to say that this is a bit of a deviation from what we're looking at, d4, d5. And the only reason why I want to show this is because many of you like to play knight f6 and then transpose to d5 for different reasons. So the Trompowsky is a system that I wouldn't call exactly an offbeat line because it's met on every level. I just want to make sure that I give you one solid weapon on how to meet an opening without needing to know or learn 10 to 20 hours of opening theory so you can study some grandmaster line that you can't remember. So, what do we do after the Trompowsky? Now, I've had recently a game that I played as black, and that was a very interesting game. I was playing as black, and my opponent was around 2000. So when he played the Trompowsky, I suppose that he was prepared enough. And so I was thinking, what will be my best way to meet this system? And then I realized, why don't I just play natural and try to prove that bishop to the g5 is not going to give white an advantage? So it actually worked. So here's what I chose. So this is the line that I find very interesting and solid for black. It's knight e4, and when white brings his bishop back, okay, you can put it on h4 as well, but I don't believe this would change much. We'll have a look at both of these variations. There is the move of d5. The idea is pretty simple. Since white is provoking that knight to go to e4, it goes there with the tempo, and we're not afraid of the fact that we have to keep it there simply because we know that this knight is going to be further supported. Now, if white plays a move like e3, we could easily set our bishop up to f5, just like that. So when white gets ready to exchange this knight, we could have that excellent support and ability to prepare ourselves. There is also bishop d6. That was the move that I played against my opponent, and indeed, I felt really good. If white was up to exchange the knight earlier, I was going to retake with my bishop, knowing that the later move that I'm going to do would be simply knight d7, and after bishop to the d3, possibly bishop to d6. The plan is straightforward. If white trades on the e4, there is d takes e4. And given that idea, it's a pretty good position for black, since if knight e5 happens, well, we can just castle, I guess, and attack that bishop. And I really think that the situation after f6, knight takes the d7, and queen takes the d7, may guarantee black a lot more value to the plan compared to white's own plan. Let me explain why it is that way. What I like about this position is the ability for the rook to come on f6 and h6. And essentially, quite a few of black's pieces can quite easily introduce their power directly toward the king side. As opposed to that, because of the solid formation, white has two options, which are either to defend by playing f3, which will additionally weaken his king side, although it is going to help him bring more pieces, or start on the queen side, which is very slow, and that's what my opponent did in the actual game. It didn't quite work for him. Nevertheless, I'd like to explain why that exchange is not good, and this is mainly because the pawn on e4 is evil. It's a strong pawn that makes a lot of pressure. What about the exchanging? Exchanging is alright, but white doesn't really have the immediate way to attack those pawns. So this can give black a very essential control over the square at e5, and the restriction to white's knight that can't easily penetrate to that square. The further plan to go could involve the short castling, and we could consider the move of f5 plus rook f6 to h6, which can help black to really set up the pieces going on the king side, and that sounds solid as well. So given all that, I believe white may just happen to experience a few problems out there, and alright, different people do knight d2, and so they can play for c4. And yet I have to say that now we have a different formation. Should white play with c4, so it's some sort of a Slav in which we've displayed that bishop of the f5 square. Again, this is not a position that we can immediately get the advantage as black, but we don't really want that as black, do we? After all, black starts second, so we want to get a comfortable equality and know where our pieces are going to go so we don't get any trouble, and we have a solid deployment.